Hi there. My name is Nita Everton. I'm the Director of Education for Howard Hanna's Southeast region, which encompasses the state of Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. In addition, I am the facilitator or perhaps tour guide for you today as we walk through Hanna presentations. This is one of the tools that the company has provided to the agents now for several years in partnership with MoxieWorks. And Hanna Presentations is designed to give our associates a quick and effective resource to create presentations that they can use to sellers on listing presentations, to buyers and setting up property tours or validating the need for a real estate agent. But also it provides a wide variety of documents that can be used to gradually feed information to a for sale by owner or to an owner whose listing has expired. So it's pretty versatile and it's multifunctional. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And we're here at the Hanna main, the Go Hanna main screen, and you have two places where you can get to Hanna presentations. Marketing, it shows up as a resource here under the marketing pull-down menu. Most people jump in over here to Hanna Presentations itself. Now, on the opening screen for Hanna Presentations, you see quite a bit of information here. There are help documents that are available for the agents to use, tutorial videos, as well as an email address for technical support and a phone number. MoxieWorks is located on the West Coast, so that's the reason for the time frames for here on the East Coast, 11:30 to 8. But the agents can call and get direct support if they need to. I know occasionally they come flying into you, their hair on fire, going, "I can't make it work. I can't make it work." Turn them over to Moxie. Let Moxie help as much as you can. When we click here for Hanna Presentations, it actually takes us to the opening page. And here you will see that I have several presentations that I've generated over time and that I have saved. If I want to create new, it's over here in this upper right-hand corner, I can click there, and then this tells me the different types of presentations that can be made under Hanna Presentations. I can do one for a buyer, which is to help the buyer when they're trying to figure out what price to put on the property, to set it up so that they can do a good market. We can do a market analysis for them and help guide them in their structuring their offer. A seller, which is more of a market analysis presentation for the seller, but it also, the agent can incorporate marketing tools and resources that the company has. A buyer tour, which is where when you're working with a buyer, if you have selected, if an agent has selected properties for the buyer to see, they can actually email that information to the consumer, who then has an opportunity to preview the properties, at least online, look at them, perhaps even eliminate some properties from going into a physical visit. And then non-listing, these are marketing pieces using custom pages, things that you can send out to a potential client or a client to keep in touch and to keep them on top of different aspects of the market. Now, I'm not going to do create a new presentation here because I think it's going to take way too long for us to go through the highlights of the program. And quite frankly, the role of our administrative staff here is to be that extra set of boots on the ground to assist the managers if agents have questions and the branch manager's not readily available. We have designed the presentation to kind of give you a good overview, and then the assignments, the homework that comes along with this are based in the frequently asked questions that Moxie has been receiving or the Hanna IT help desk has been getting. So we have those things. That's how we've set all this stuff up for you. I'm going to use this presentation that I've set up over here. And if I were to click on the big box, it would open up into a web-based presentation, and we would have to scroll down and look at all the pages. I cannot edit it on this particular in this particular way. To edit, I will click here on the pencil, which is a very common icon that's used for editing purposes. If for some reason the agent wanted to know when they last updated this presentation and who was the person to update it, that's what this clock does. So you can see when it was initially created, when it was last updated, and then who did the updating in the basic design. If you wanted to go to these three little dots, what I've discovered with Moxie is three little dots for them means there's extra stuff. If we click on the three little dots, then you see that I could email this presentation to someone. I could review the settings that I have set up for it. I could duplicate it, meaning copy it and save it under a different name if I wanted to. I could delete it. I can put it in archive, which sets it up in an archival file. And I'll show you that as soon as I close this box. We can create a quick flyer for it. I can assign it to an agent, or I can add a co-presenter, and we'll cover those in just a few minutes. So if I do decide to archive a presentation, meaning I don't want to dump it, I don't want to get rid of it, but I want to be able to look at it at some point down the road, but it's really not something I'm using right now. When I do the archiving, it shows up here in this pull down menu. So what I'm going to do is I want to edit this one. So I'm going to open it up. And this is a listing presentation, and I want to go through very quickly what these pull down menu items are. So you are on the subject property page, and this is where the agent would be filling in information about the property that they want to list, be it for sale by owner or a seller that's come to them from some other resource. And they could plug in the address, the basic features, the school system, a variety of things. But this data on this page is going to create the basis of the market analysis function that is embedded in this program. So once I do that, if I click on search, then it goes into the MLS and will pull up whatever it is that I choose to give it. I can set up my search criteria, then it'll go into the MLS that I'm affiliated with or that the agent's affiliated with, and will pull up pendings and actives and expireds, any fall throughs or withdrawals. I mean, whatever it is, I get to choose. I can customize that. I've done this for this particular address, which happens to be my home address, and I came up with 4 listings that I wanted to keep. It actually came out with 15 or 20 different listings. And then knowing the market and knowing how neighborhoods change around my house, I culled it down to the ones that were most likely to be good matches for my property and the closest to me. And I limited it to 4 active listings. Then this system also has a very broad version of a estimated seller's net sheet. It's broad categories in it. It gives just a general idea of what the seller can expect to get if the property were to sell within a certain range. In most markets, we also have a more detailed version available to our agents that's much more specific to that particular region or market or state that you're in. Over here, we have pages, which is where we're going to spend a lot of our time today or for the rest of this program. I do have a choice here on view. I can do the web view, which is what somebody would see when the link is emailed to them and they can scroll through it like they would any other website. Or I can click print portrait, which it's going to set it up as a PDF. And this PDF does, depending on how many pages that you have and how much report information you're including and photographs and with the CMA or whatever, this could take a while to download. So I'm not going to do that just yet. We may look at it here in a little bit. I can send it. This is another place where I can email it. So now I'm in the presentation and I still have the ability to email it. I can review my settings, and then remember the 3 vertical dots on when we looked at the presentation when on the opening page. Well, here's the same information, only now they're horizontal dots instead. So you can see that I have most of the same resources here with those horizontal dots. If I wanted to, now this image right here is going to be the opening page of my PDF version. And if I want to pick a new photograph, I want to pick another image there because this defaults based on what the company has already set in place. If I want to get a different image, then I would browse. And this is going to take me to the files on my computer. I have set up a file called Marketing Images, and I'm beginning literally today, beginning to populate it with other images that could be used in other Howard Hanna tools. And what I would suggest to the agents, if you have this opportunity, is go ahead and set up a marketing images file and look at things, other pictures and things that you might want to include. So what I'm going to do is choose this one, and I'm going to hit open. And then in a few seconds, my photograph should change, I hope. Yes. Success. So there it goes. So that now will be the opening page that people will see. This actually came from the buy side marketing component that we've got going on right now, but that's okay. I can use it for demonstration purposes. If I want to go back, I can replace it with the default image. If I don't like that one, I can replace it. If I take time to look at the entire presentation and go, yeah, I really don't, I can go back and choose again. So that's really how you can upload a new image. I could take a picture of the property and put it over in my marketing images folder and use that as well. So I've got a variety of things that I can use. So I'm going to go to pages because this is where we'll spend some time. And here is the presentation that I have built already. And you will see, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. But over here, these are the pages that I already have set up, because this is a presentation that I've saved already. And if I want to move them, I just hold on it. I click, left click, and I move it. So I can move it anywhere that I want it to go. I can rearrange the sequence pretty easily. Now, if I go up here and I look at the down arrow for presentation, that gives me, this is where I'm at. I am in the presentation itself. I can go into the page library if I want to. And so if I look at the page library, now I have reports, and these are all generated from the market analysis that was done, and I can choose from the report pages. There are partner pages that I can choose from, and then custom and other brokerage pages. So I've got a wide variety here. If I go back to this down button again, then I can see the templates. There are brokerage templates that are set up already. In the Southeast region, we have templates that were set up several years ago, and that's what these are right here, where it says Howard Hanna Southeast Region, buyer and seller, the classic. It's a classic design, but these templates were pre-update on this MoxieWorks tool. Then these two right here, the default where it says new, if you have those in your setups, when you look at your brokerage templates, these actually pull 3 pages from buy side into that template or into that default setting. So the old ones that don't say new up here will not pull buy side information, but these will. And so based on what the CMA information that the agent has plugged into the system, it'll actually pull into the presentation. If they've picked these new defaults, they'll pull in the information from buy side on the buyer's market analysis, the heat map, and then I think the number of buyers that Howard Hanna has that is interested in the property. So those are the pieces that will come forward. And then these last two, which are relatively new, I think they're new late last year, early this year. These two are good overview presentations on how to buy a home or how to sell a home. They can't be modified or changed. You can't delete pages. I think you can add stuff perhaps to them, but they're very clean. They're very elegant looking presentations. And it's something when I teach the new licensees in the Southeast region, I tell them use it with a for sale by owner. Use it with a buyer who might has never bought a house before, hasn't bought a house in a long time, and is interested in how the process works. I think these are nice, good overview tools that they can use, and that will be helpful for establishing connection and conversation. If we go back again to that down arrow, then there's a branding section here. We're not going to spend any time on this at all. I've gone to the default brand, which is the Howard Hanna, and that's just makes it quick and easy and simple for me. If I had my own logo, I could upload it here and it could be co-branded with my own logo. And then you have a series of headers and footers that you can use for each of the pages. And that's something that the agents can explore on their own if they really want to try to customize this and they have a way that they really want it to look. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my presentation. And what we want to do, and I'm looking at notes, so bear with me here for a minute. I made some notes to make sure I cover everything. So we want to add a page. So let's say that I'm what I got is okay, but I want to add. So now I have to choose. I'm going to add it from the library. And if I do that, then I have to decide whether I'm going to do report pages, and there are 14 of here. Here's a cover for the presentation, a summary of what the subject property is, a map, the overview of the listing, the side-by-side comparisons. This actually looks like what the agents learn as a traditional CMA. We have a column with the features of the subject property, and then the properties they've chosen as comparables next to it, so the consumer can see and compare very quickly their status and listing averages, days on market, size, estimates, analysis. All of these things are things that they can look at and choose from, and it all is rooted in that market analysis information that they put in under the first page when we started looking at the presentation, which was the subject property, and then the subsequent page where we have the search. They can also choose partner pages. And here the buy side. So this is the buy side information. Remember, if you're using that new information, that new template, this automatically uploads for you, but you can add it if you wanted to. And that's going to be based on the subject property itself. And what you can do is, if I want featured buyers, I can look at it. This is none found because I haven't done any work in that CMA process yet, which is why that's there. But if I want to add it, I just click the add. Again, if I want to print it, I can do that as well. And it prints in a portrait fashion. So that's how I can add pages. And then we can look at custom pages if we want to. I have a boatload of pages that I've added in here to play with. Some of them have been sent to me by agents who've said, what do you think? Others are things that I have created on my own, but I could look at a marketing plan of action. This actually was sent to me by somebody who put it together and thought it was really cool, and it looks good. I want to change I'm going to leave it. Yeah, it's adding. So this, I went to a place where I wasn't ready to go. I apologize. Let me go back to this. This is actually set up in web view. If I want to look at the print view, which is where I wanted to go, I can change it. And now this is what it would look like as a printed piece. Again, this is something that I uploaded. It was a custom page of my own. And if I want to go back and look at my pages, let's see. Let's say I want to add what a home inspection should cover. This is another one. and I want to look at the print view. Then I go through this. This is it. So I like that. I want that one. So I want to add it to my presentation. So now it's been added. I'll have to go back and look at the presentation later and decide where I want it to be rearranged, but I now have that. If I wanted to look at brokerage pages, then these are the ones that are for, let's say, Virginia and North Carolina. Here are some that default. I think I have all of those in my presentation, but maybe not. I'd have to go back and look. If I go back one, here's some processes. So let's say I want to do financial services. I want to talk about the buy before you sell program, and I want to make sure that this is added in my presentation. So I'll go back and I will choose add there. And so now I have access to that. So if I go back again, look at my pages, let's say that I want to create a page. So I'm going to click on create a page. I have a choice. I can build a page or I can upload a PDF, either one. Building a page works better if the agent already has in mind what they want the page to look like. Because if you click on build a page, and let's say you want it for a print view again, then you have to know how you want your template to look. You would choose a layout, and then that in turn would direct the agent on where to upload photographs and add text and things of that nature. So if if they want to do that, that's great, but I would encourage them to have in their minds how they would like this to be set up. Or I'm going to go back to create a page and I can upload a PDF. And if I decide to upload a PDF, then I choose a file and let's see, I go to documents. I would ideally have this in my marketing images section. But let's say that I want to, and I'm picking, let's say that I want to have this PDF uploaded. So we've chosen the file. I'm going to click upload. And it shows up working. It's adding it to. I'm not sure what it's working on. I apologize. This one, it's 1 out of 11 pages. Oh, my PDF had 11 pages in it. That's why. I should have picked a little smaller one. Again, preparation is key. If the agents want to do some uploads, then have a folder set up with the information that they want to add into their presentations. It's going to go a lot faster, but plugging in 11 pages, this is going to take just a couple more seconds. We're 7 out of 11. We're almost done. And let me see, what else do I need to cover? I'll do that. I'll cheat a little bit and go through cover photo template. Okay, we've got 2 more things to cover, and then I think I've finished up my overview. Oh, there we go. So new perspectives, there it is. It was a PowerPoint presentation, and for whatever I wanted to keep it. So I can hang on to it, or I can let it go. So I'm going to move forward from that. So that's pages and uploading and customizing, selecting pages throughout the presentation, the process. Your brokerage pages will vary based on the region that you're in. You'll see a variety, it'll be a little different than what you see on my screen, but that's where you find them and where you go for them. Now, if you want to create a quick flyer for the property, the agent can do this. Remember, you can do it on that opening page with those 3 vertical dots where you saw the presentation. They can make a flyer, or they can do it here when we're in this section of the presentation. We can go to more, create quick flyer, and then the agents using the information can choose a layout that they want to use, add information about the property, and then add photographs and have it branded, and then preview it and then print it, or they can send it. This is one of the homework assignments for you. So you don't have access to property data and information, so you'll do a pretend unless your manager or an agent will allow you to use some information that they have. But you could pick layout 3, for example, and I've selected it. And then it's going to ask me, it's going to walk me through the process. So I type in the title, what is going to be the main image. That would be something to be imported, any additional photographs that I want to include, some information about the property description, details on the listing, which would be some bullet points that they will give me a limited number for, the price, and then any programs that I don't see any programs here. So, and then I can view it, see what it looks like. It's generating a PDF for me. I filled nothing in. So this will pretty much, this is what it looks like here, because I filled no other information in, and because it defaults to that one photograph. So that's what we do. That's how we can manage. Whoops, too far. Sorry. So that's where we can manage create flyer. Now you have 2 more things for me to cover. We can add a co-presenter. I can actually add another agent to my presentation. This would work for a team presentation. If you have agents from different markets, different geographic markets, and one has the resource, they have the the seller resource or the buyer, but they're helping them find a property or sell a property in another location. So they're going to work together with another agent in a different market. You can use it for that. Or you can, if you're part of a team, the team leader may want to put their name and then a team member on it as well. So co-presenters, meaning you have 2 different people, you would type the name, it would find the person, and then the presentation would be sent to them. And then finally, the last piece is to assign to an agent. This is where someone can set up a presentation and they can basically transfer it out of their cache of presentations to another agent. They can, so a team leader perhaps has looked at something, or maybe a team member is getting ready to do something without the team leader's resource or assistance. They assign the presentation to the team leader to review. The team leader in turn assigns it back so that they can make any changes or recommendations or whatever. So you have that as an ability to assign it to someone. It leaves the person, if I were to assign a presentation, it no longer will be in my Hanna presentations inventory. I will lose it and it will go to the person I assigned it to. I think I have covered the biggest bulk of this information for you, or with you. So again, if we go to the editing component, or excuse me, if I look at my pages rather, and back to my pages, this is where I can rearrange stuff. I can add pages. Then over here, more in terms of setting up the quick flyer, looking at how to assign a listing over, not a listing, but a presentation to somebody else, or add a co-presenter. So I think this is it for today. Hopefully I have covered everything. Actually, I don't know if I have. Hang on a second. Let me look. When I have my presentation, one more thing, I lied. When I have my presentation set up in a way that I am comfortable and happy with, I can set it up as a template if I want to, which means all of these same basic pages in the same basic sequence will be available to me. This is what seasoned agents do in order to create quick presentations with the main attention to detail coming in with the market analysis component. And if that's what I want to do, then I can do save as template. And then it's a seller template. I can save it under my templates, and I can title it and save. So now if I ever want to go back and look at my seller demo template, it's already saved for me. It'll show up under my presentations, or should show up under my presentations as a template. And here's my template right here that I just saved, seller demo template. Now that I've looked at all of my notes, it does appear that we are finished. Let me stop sharing my screen. And I just want to wish all of you great success in wandering through all of this information. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday as we go over the homework assignment and take any questions that you may have. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And we are done. Thank you. Bye.